Welcome back.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jeffrey.
And this is
Kombat
Kreations! Now I know what you're thinking to yourself. Wait, I'm looking at the time is wrong. I looked at the clock wrong. Well, for those who were properly following our Facebook and Twitter, you would know.
Wait, do you hear that?
Hey.
That was the Kombat Creation gods.
They smiled upon us.
It is the hour special of Kombat Creations.
That's right. We are here for an entire hour.
We are.
Some people were looking around in the studio and they started to do some stuff. And so we snuck in and said, hey, we want this hour. And I peed in the corner, so the room's ours.
There's a lot of air fresheners in that corner.
So,
and then I just came back from fan service. I had to do a quick address thing. And I was like, okay, I'm wearing black pants. I gotta switch my pants into jeans. Guess what happened? I'm not wearing any underwear. Yeah.
All right. So, focus in on that. So, this is indeed an hour-long special of Kombat Creations, brought to you by us and Fanboy Flakes.
And Fanboy Flakes.
Fanboy Flakes.
If you're a fanboy,
you can be a flake.
Yep.
So, starting off our hour-long special, we have a special message from our fans for Kombat Comms, where we answer one of your email questions. That question was, have you ever thought about having a special?
Ta-da!
Ask and you will receive.
Ta-da!
Fans, reasonable requests only. I'm not mailing random chocolate and barbecue again. That just wasn't
and
good.
No, Mr. Muth 5000, I will not glue my hands together with milk. Stop asking. Mr. Muth 5000.
You're looking at the wrong email address. All right, so that's right. It's an hour, folks. All right, so we decided to take this time and do things a little bit different than we might do on a normal show. Normally, we only have a half an hour. We're building real fast to try and put something together. Right. So we still can't do certain things like painting and stuff, but we thought, hey, if we have an hour, let's do some things that might take a little more time that we wouldn't normally get to do. So we're going to do some of that. It's a little more instructional. And ultimately, here's the thing. I do some different props. I've had a few experiments going through my head thinking, I want to try getting around to that. I have no idea if this would work. And
I have no idea either, because this is something I've never really delved into.
I thought, what a better time to completely experiment on random things than live on television. That can't possibly be, end up poorly.
I really hope I'm not one of those experiments, because I have no idea what's going to happen, folks.
Ultimately,
no idea.
I'm going to talk about some of the stuff as we go through it. Even though we normally go with all sorts of cheap, inexpensive stuff because we really want people to try things out and test them. We'll get to that. And some of this stuff is a little higher end than the normal ingredients, but everything that we're doing is pretty darn cheap.
Yeah.
And I can, explain some of the stuff as we go through it. So this is definitely stuff that you could do on your own, and I'll explain the proper way to do things as well as what we're doing.
And I will follow along because I have no expertise in this field, but he does.
Now.
And I'm trusting him with my life. Crap.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Sorry, we got an hour-long show. I got to take breaks.
I know. What's going to happen?
I know.
I got really scared all of a sudden.
I know it's only 5 minutes.
I'm teary because I got scared. I didn't know what's going to happen.
I know it's only 5 minutes, but I got to take breaks in order to get all the way through to the... No,
what's in this?
Give me that. Release. Release is in that. We'll get to that. It's stuff to let go. Okay. It releases.
I don't know why I'm so scared.
All right, So first off, we're going to do a little bit of plaster casting.
Fun.
Yeah. So one of the neat things that different prop folks will do is they'll do a little bit of casting of either a face or your hands or something like that.
Shoulders.
And if you make a copy in plaster, then you can build off of that. Whether you're doing extra clay bits and making prosthetics, or if you're building up things like helmets and out of foam and whatnot. It's hard to tape it on your head. But if you had your head here, you could work around your head. And so really that's the idea. So my thought was, all right, if I'm going to make some of these foam hats or prop hats, right? And normally I would have to measure my head and hope it's right.
Yeah.
It would be a whole lot easier if I had a plaster casting that I could work off of in front of me.
Okay.
So we're going to start with that. Now, the method, that's not the crazy thing. The method that we're doing is a little bit different. I'm trying to think of, all right, what's an easy way to get just my head and pour some plaster in there.
Cupcakes.
Not cupcakes. Put those down.
I want cupcakes.
Here's what we're going to start with.
Okay.
We're going to take that aluminum foil.
All right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple layers of a bowl around my head. Jeff's going to do that. Now, what we're going to do to keep it all together is after we kind of shape it down where we want it, and I'm going to look about eyebrow level, and we want to get it kind of close to my head. I'm not real worried about the plaster being smooth because it's something I'm going to build off of, but we just want to be nice and secure, and then we're going to roll some tape around it
so it keeps the bowl secure.
So that we'll be able to take it off and
right,
hopefully fill it with some plaster.
We'll see what happens. All right, Chris, go ahead and take a seat, and I will. All right. So we're gonna
take these
foil
off here.
All right.
Yeah, just some. And it's okay to go further than so we have a little bit of a lip.
How's this?
Maybe a little higher.
Sorry. All right. So let's see. So about right here on the brow.
Yeah, but as I say, it's okay to be a little.
Back in the 60s, they used to wear these.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
get a couple more pieces.
A couple more pieces, so we can go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm just going to bring this out.
You might do something just over the top direction so that, because that's where we don't want it to leak.
You almost look like a flying nun. Alright, let's see. And I think maybe about one more piece going over the other way.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we got that, and then we can tape it over.
Sure.
Alright.
Now, also, this, for anyone who's seen the movie Excalibur, look, now I'm cosplaying Merlin.
It's totally true.
Alright.
Alright, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
So we got a good shape right here. We're going not too far over the ear. We're just, wish you guys could see that part, but it's okay. Alright, so now we're gonna take this right here. Alright, and try to get the tape.
Who saw that coming?
Alright. This tape is horrible. Dude.
Well.
But it's alright, because we can use scrap pieces. Alright. So, basically, if you guys are just tuning in for Kombat Kreations, we are the Kombat Kreation guys, where we basically take everyday household items and we turn it into something more. You can see our past episodes at if you go to youtube.com/fanboytv. And it's our logo with the little skull and crossbones.
Just go slower.
Slower?
Yeah.
Slower.
See, that was working perfect.
Slower.
And do it nice and tight.
That's what she said. I went there. Alright. I'm trying. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So, why am I taping your head?
So, the idea is that the aluminum foil actually forms the mold itself, and the tape helps keep any of the holes created by using multiple bits of aluminum foil from letting the plaster out. And when it's finished, the plaster, if I wanted it nice and smooth, could even be sanded a little bit, that sort of thing. It's going to have a little bit of texture to it from the aluminum foil. And for a lot of things, that's just fine. If I needed to change it, then I could always either sand it a little bit or play with it or add some more plaster, something like that.
Got it. This is a lot of tape we're using, but I think
That's okay.
That's what we want, right?
Yeah, we want it to be nice and secure.
Okay.
All right. So we got a good. All right, now.
I think we got a pretty good little helmet going on
All right.
here.
So then the tricky part is, yeah. Are you done? All right. Don't do that when I pull it off. We're going to pull it off carefully so it keeps the shape. So, ultimately, here's what we got. We've even got chairs in the corner, I think, for people that are now a studio audience.
We're actually filming a live studio audience.
Hey, we need a bowl, and we
a bowl.
need some of the water.
All right.
So, here's the trick. Oh, I got to put on my special crafting hat.
You have a bowl.
I can't craft without a hat. All right. So, we've got some plaster, essentially plaster of Paris here. What I'm using is actually called Ultra Cal, and basically it's kind of a high grain, better off stuff from
how much
plaster. How much are we using? Well, we're about to figure that out.
Okay.
So, and the other thing is to keep from making a mess, more than what might or might not happen. I've got a bowl here, so I've got one bowl to mix up the plaster, and I've got one bowl to put the helmet down inside and fill up and hope that I make my head.
I am terrified.
So we've got a bowl to put. Get a bowl.
Yeah, a bowl. The bowl right there.
To put this.
Oh,
in.
we need to put this in. Okay.
We got a mixing bowl. All right.
And we got a bowl. We
Right.
got a mixing bowl.
So we'll get to that in a sec.
Okay.
So now there is a special way to do this. We've got ultimately all we're doing is mixing water and plaster into a mixture of pancake batter and pouring it in. But
this is pancake batter?
No, but we're going for that consistency.
Can we get pancakes afterwards?
There is a special way to do this. You either put the plaster and then add water, or water and then add the plaster. I think it's the water first, but I never can remember, so we just go.
So it's all right.
All right. So hold on, don't do that yet.
You said water first.
Yeah, but then I started thinking, you know what? I want to try and measure some of this out a little bit.
Okay.
So yes, we should do the water first, but we're just not gonna, because that's how it is.
So
now,
how many scoops are you putting in?
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm estimating.
And you're just using a plastic cup to get the measurements, right?
Yes. I'm trying to kind of estimate what might fill that, remembering that part of this is going to be the powder and part of this is going to be the water. So I might overmake it a little bit, and
But it's okay, because it's always good to have extra, especially with us. So, you know. I am so worried.
Yeah, I'm a little worried myself.
That smells
All right.
terrible.
It's all right. It's all right. All right, let's do just a little bit more.
A little bit more? Okay. And do we want to put the whole bottle of water in there?
We're going to mix as we go. So first off, hang on.
Okay.
We want to seal this before we start playing with the water.
Of course.
Because over time, it will not work as well as it gets wet.
Okay.
All right. So, I've got my special stirrer. Pour some water in.
And the special stir is just
Okay, hold up. Let me get this.
Knife.
Yep.
Oh wow, yeah, I can see what you're talking about. It definitely does look like pancake batter.
Yeah, and the idea is that we don't want any. Yeah, keep going. Hey,
oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We got.
Here we go. All right, good. And remember, guys, if you are under the age of 18, always have a parent or guardian to supervise you.
Okay, give me some more water.
Like Chris, he needs a supervisor.
Okay, stop.
Like his wife, Valerie.
I got no supervisor.
Nope, we got no supervisor today, so that's great.
Is
that too much water?
No, I think the knife is a little bit thin. Here, I'm going to use a stick of hot glue.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
Do we want more of the batter? Because I think it's too watery.
Yeah, let's. Well, some of the liquid will.
Do we put like at least another scoop or two?
Yeah,
in there?
put about 2 more scoops in.
Okay.
This is scientific measurements, everybody.
Weird science. I love that movie. Okay, that's right there.
Pop it in. You know, there are some people watching this show that have actually that do this sort of thing often that are saying right now, why can they not just figure out what are they doing?
Because we are Kombat Creation, and we will combat anything to create it.
So, as I mentioned, this is essentially just plaster of Paris, and the fact that we're using the stuff called Ultra Cal is partly it's what I had there, but it's a tougher substance in the end. So it will be a nice, hard, works for a long while. Okay, we've got it. So
Alright.
put that in.
Okay. It's
Now,
in.
help hold it steady
Okay.
while I fill this, and we see if
it
this
leaks
holds.
or not. Here we go. All right, go. Oh, it definitely has weight to it. Oh, that's so gross. Okay, okay.
So,
It's not leaking.
well, that's excellent. It's also nowhere near as full as I thought it would be, but that's okay. So I'm gonna toss that down there. Go ahead. So,
Should I mix it around the?
no, that won't matter too much. So basically, once we do this, it takes about a half an hour to cure.
Okay.
Look, we got an hour-long special show.
Yay!
So we're gonna set it over on another table to do that.
Okay.
While it's curing, we'll do some other stuff and we'll check back on it. So basically, once you've done that with plaster and stuff, just you might give it a couple of taps for air bubbles. I'm not worried about air bubbles.
It is an air bubble.
And then
All
we're
right.
just gonna let it go.
And what do we do to my head?
We're gonna do something similar, but first, let's get the plaster out of here.
Oh, okay.
Trash can, trash bag.
Trash bag. Do we want a little bit of water to mix it out of there? Just a little bit. Yeah,
Maybe?
just a
All right,
bit.
stop.
There we go. There we go. So make sure you guys, when we do have time to build stuff and everything, we always make sure that we clean as we work, because if we don't clean as we work, we
The
have
studio kicks us out.
the studio kicks us out, and when we're at home, it makes a very, very big mess.
Well,
And
the
we
other
don't-
thing is,
and we don't want to clean it afterwards.
so this bowl, I could wait for the Ultra Cal to get solid in the bowl
Oh,
and
that's
just
so gross looking.
crack it and peel it out. That's
it
an easy way to do it too.
looks like I had a few drinks.
We may or may not want to use the bowl for some different things here.
Oh.
So
Uh,
stop it.
I'm gonna put that
Yeah,
right
just
there.
set that aside. Be careful because of we don't want to let it drip from the extra moisture in there.
It should be good.
Okay, so
Alright.
all right, experiment number 1 worked. Experiment number 2,
Oh,
we're gonna do the similar thing to Jeff. Have a seat, Jeff.
Yes, sir. And so, okay. Wait, we're doing the same thing?
Not exactly.
I cut my hair for this, so let's see what happens. I was actually scared that you were going to, like, burn myself or something. So I was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. I can't see anything. Hello.
That's okay.
Hello.
So the difference.
Wait, what are you doing? Are you doing my face?
No, I'm not doing your face. I just like to not have to look at you.
What? I can't hear. All I hear is tinfoil.
That's aluminum foil. There's no tin in that. Crazy people. Is this the 1800s?
Feel like it sometimes. Ow! Ah! Tinfoil feels really weird on your head. Now I know what you're talking about, Merlin. Is that what his helmet was made of? I wonder.
No. He had something else. All right. So
We're at 18 minutes in the show, guys, and look, we're not. This is usually a time where we're like rushing to switch, and I am one-eyed Jeffrey. Darn me mateys in my helmet of tin, or aluminum, yeah.
One-Eye Jeffrey. It's a
One-Eye
normal
Jeffrey.
Saturday night.
Wait, what? I hate you so much. Oh, hey guys, just give you a heads up. On the 29th, a heads up because you're on my head. On the 29th of December, what am I at? On July 29th at the Barnes & Noble in Round Rock, Texas here, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we're having a cosplay day there, and Fanboy TV is hosting it, part of the Fanboy TV block party, and Kombat Kreations is doing a special to where you, the live audience, might be able to participate.
You can come see us. You can come hang out with other fanboy block party personalities.
Yep. And hopefully I get 2 eyes by that point. I really can't see. Oh, I can see now.
All right, we're almost
This-
done. Almost
this
done now.
feels really weird on your head.
I was saying we're gonna use.
How
We're
did
gonna use
you
something a little
guys
different.
like wear these on your head? Did you ever wear?
Aluminum foil?
Yeah. Didn't you ever wear a aluminum foil hat?
No, I just let the aliens talk to me. Okay. So now we've got it. We've got a Jeffrey head.
I have a Jeffrey head.
We're gonna carefully take it off.
Oh.
All
wow.
right.
I got
So-
really sweaty in there.
We want the other bowl.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that I happen to have some of that we haven't got to play with before. This is one of the tools up here that actually is a little bit pricier. We have some casting foam.
Rigid casting foam.
Right. So
For
there are a
their
couple
pleasure.
there are a couple of types of casting foam. Right?
Yes.
There's prop foam and there's casting the foam. This is the rigid stuff. This will be a
rigid.
hard. This will end up being a hard piece that is nice and light. The prop foam is the squishy type foam when it finishes. The nice thing about this is that it forms its own skin over the outside of the piece, so
Okay.
it's just one big piece. Also, it expands out a little bit.
Okay.
So we're going to pour some in, get it mixed up, pop it in here, watch it expand out, and hope that it doesn't overflow the bowl.
Let's see if we can try to get a close-up on this when we're doing this. So.
All right. So here's
All
the
right.
neat thing about this stuff. Couple of things to know about casting product, whether it's this or silicone or other sorts of things. You
Yeah.
have a couple of new words. It's a vocabulary lesson. So some of these new words
I learned a
are
new word.
pot life
Now.
and demold time.
Hot life and demold time.
Pot life is the amount of time that you have to mix everything and put it where it needs to be before it starts to do its reaction.
Pot life.
Pot life. Life in the pot that you're mixing.
Got it.
Demold time.
Just wanted to clarify.
Demold time is the amount of time it has to sit there before you can pull it out of the mold.
Okay.
So this and every casting thing is going to be different. All sorts of silicones, all sorts of rigid foams, all sorts
Different
of
foams
prop
and such.
foams, all of it. It's all, but that's it.
How much does a bottle usually range for this kind of
So
stuff?
it comes in two parts.
Yeah.
This much is around the $40 range.
It's part A, part B.
Yes, it's all of this stuff is going to be two part.
Yeah.
It's around the $40 range for this much, and it does expand.
This is pretty
This
heavy.
says 6-pound foam, which doesn't mean it's going to be real heavy. It means that that's about there's a certain level that it will expand. The denser the foam, the less the expansion.
Okay.
2-pound foam makes a big puddle.
Yeah.
6-pound foam stays dense.
Got it.
Now, what we're going to do, some of it you would mix parts A and B by weight. Sometimes these are kind of equal. Sometimes part B is just a little bit and drips and stuff like that.
These bottles are actually pretty heavy. I guess
Right.
it's the material that's inside. It's
So what we're going to do is we're going to pour, let's see,
Do we-
double checking, 1 to 2 by volume. That is the nicest stuff. Part A and part B by volume, which means
you're gonna open this one.
all right, which means we put the same amount roughly in the deals there.
Oh! Oh God! What is
Jeff,
that?
I am telling you.
Oh my God!
What do you think you're doing? Let's see, I'm having
Smells terrible. Make sure
Yeah.
you wear a mask with this, guys. Oh my God, that's so gross.
You did it.
Being an outside element, we're an indoor element. It sucks.
Let's see.
Actually, it doesn't suck because we get to be away from the weather and do this.
This is a little bit difficult to open. That really
Yeah,
is.
I was like, uh oh.
I was looking for tools, but we,
we don't want to cut
we
it
don't
open.
want to
Oh,
cut.
wait. There.
No.
Oh no. Well, this might be. No, that's
No.
not gonna work.
So
We can use a Dremel.
what's happened is some of it's got between the cap there, and
Yeah.
it's got a little caked in, and so it.
So when it gets caked in
project-
like that, it's like a jar of honey. Alright, so right now what he's doing, he's basically loosening it up between the cap and there, and the bottle. No one's home!
Let's see how well that worked.
Oh no, we're not going to be able to do this one. It's okay. We got more stuff coming along.
We do.
And if you guys are tuning in, hey, we're Kombat Kreations on the Fanboy TV Block Party. We take everyday household items and we build them and make them some more. Want to find out more? Go to our website at fanboytv.com or past episodes at youtube.com/fanboytv.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do with this.
Are you okay?
Obviously, we need some tools that are not here at the studio.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna
Wait,
continue.
why? Don't look at me and then look away and grin. I hate it when you do that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to a couple of the other things.
Okay.
We're gonna keep this all together.
Okay.
We're gonna film it off the air, and then we'll put it on YouTube. So if you our loyal fans want to see exactly what happens with this stuff, look, it's a surprise feature.
I am so scared right now, but okay.
All right. Or see if you can get it open.
I'm gonna see if you can get it open while you explain what's going on with the rest of the stuff.
Sure. We'll move on to the next experiment. All right. The next one is where we get a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting.
We get to make cupcakes finally?
No
I love
cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
So, I've got, let's see. Let's pull this over here.
Oh wow, it was really in there.
Yeah, isn't it?
We're just gonna cut that.
Be careful.
through. It's
All right.
like dried boogers in this thing.
We
It really
will.
looks like dried
we'll use
boogers.
this cup. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a next trick on how to cast something with alginate. Alginate is a casting medium that's real cheap. You may be able to find some at a craft store. Chances are you can find it at a specialty art store or online, and you have to order it. But it's real cheap. A bag like this is like $5.
That's not bad.
And it's a lot. Now, the thing, though, is it is very temporary. It's called alginate because it's made of algae.
Is it really made out of algae?
Yeah.
But it's a powder base.
Yeah. Crazy.
Weird science!
Now, what you would normally do with this is if you have a particular item,
Weird science.
you can do one of two things. Either you can have a mold and you can or you can have an item and you can pour the alginate around, which is what we're going to do. You pull the item out and then you've got a cavity. You can pour something else in, like silicone or plaster or something like that, and have the item as the alginate dissolves. The alginate is good for a couple hours max, and then it's gone, right? The other thing that you can do is go the reverse way, and if you take something, you can pour the alginate into it,
Okay.
pull the thing away, and have an alginate version of something so that you can then pour something else over it and make a mold out of like silicone or something else. So you can go either way with it.
That's fascinating.
It's kind of neat stuff. It also really likes pulling moisture out of air and going bad. So we keep it double bagged and sealed up. This particular, and like other stuff, it's got its own pot life, mold time, demold time, things like that.
Okay.
But essentially, what I've got, there may be tools.
Our producer, we love you.
So, essentially, we've got...
Come on screen. There we go. Thanks, kid.
We've got a couple of different types of alginate that's... it's used a lot in life casting. You would pour it over your hand or over your face very carefully. And while you're doing that, we'll get to that in a second. While you do some of this. Here.
Okay.
Switch.
All right. Switch!
Switch! Look, we switched.
Okay.
I told camera people that we wouldn't do that this time, and then we did it.
All right.
So, what we're going to do is, we've got this little thing that we're going to make a mold of.
We're going to make a
This
mold out
is-
of this?
Yeah, just as a sample. Because the one thing I want to see is, normally when you put something, you would then make a mold and fill it with plaster or something like that. It's what was in the box, man.
We have dismembered so many
Listen,
trophies.
listen. So instead of making it with plaster,
Yeah.
we've played around before with hot glue. And I want to see if we can then put hot glue into the alginate, or if it's too hot and screws up the mold.
You would put me on that. You would.
So,
You.
we're going to use this as our molding,
Okay.
our thing to mold in, right?
Okay.
So we're going to put some powder into this cup to mix it.
Okay, just how many scoops of powder?
Just a couple of scoops. All we're doing is trying to get an impression of this into there. So it doesn't have to be a crazy amount.
Okay.
You do that while I do... Oh, God.
This stuff smells terrible. I mean, this isn't as bad as that stuff over there. Yeah, I think you have to get a new cap if you take that off. Then you can use a Dremel and just, Oh! Did you get it?
I got it. That's a... Well, okay, don't put any more in there.
Well, you told me...
I stopped to watch...
Yeah, I said
Hey,
3
listen,
scoops.
so
You
the-
said I thought 3 scoops wasn't good enough. 3
Hey,
is a
go
lucky
ahead and seal it. Put the tie back on.
Yes, sir. All
Please.
right. Clean as you go. Hey, where did I put the tie? Oh, there's the tie. Okay. We're only Chris, we're only 30 minutes into the show. How awesome is that?
That's beautiful because this takes a little bit to cure. That means we still have time to.
That looks like a bunch of dried boogers around the thing. Okay. Oh, now if we can, I'm not sure if we can get a close up on this, but you can see it. It's like a very. It looks like oil, and it has like I don't know what that is. It looks like a copper tone amber. It is disgusting.
Now, that
we'll fix that cap later. We'll build something around it.
All right. So because going back to this for a minute before we get to there,
yes,
so
sir.
we can get this going. Now that we have magical means, so because it's 1-to-1 by volume,
okay,
we can pretty much match it up
with the cup.
It also has its
this is like
how much by weight, and
it looks like you're putting car oil into a cup. That's exactly what this looks like.
It's a whole lot better to weigh.
Do not drink this. Do not drink this stuff.
It's also a whole lot better to figure out exact numbers rather than what we're doing.
Okay.
But this is us. All right. So we've got part A. We've got part B.
Okay.
We have a pot life of 30 seconds.
Hot life of 30 seconds. And what happens in 30 seconds?
It starts foaming up.
Oh, it will.
It starts to cure. So
we have to get this out.
This is the exciting part.
Okay.
We have that centered.
All right.
What we're gonna do is put that down. Take part B.
Okay, part B.
I've got part A, and we've got another mixing cup. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pour in here, and we want to get it good and mixed. So you hold the mixing cup. I will stir as we go.
Okay.
Once we start pouring, we are going to carefully count down. All right?
30.
So we're going to mix. We got to plan this out. We're going to mix for about we'll mix and pour for about 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay.
And then carefully pour it into there.
So we're going to pour it in, mix, and then we're going to carefully pour it into this.
Yes.
And it's going to foam up, and we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Well, we've caught fire on the show. Let's see what happens with this.
All right.
Ready?
And we'll see if it pours out of the bottom of that or over the top. This is exciting. All right. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Go for it, 16. 7. Pour down. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 30.
Oh, yeah. 25, 30. What the hell?
Darn straight. Now mixing it just a little bit more. Now these cups we're just going to toss. You can mix a little bit more. But here, in just a few seconds, you want to stop. So, here's what's going on, camera. I don't want to tilt it too much.
So you can see that, it looks really disgusting. It looks like someone took a big loogie and put it in it. But it's actually, I can see the chemical, all right, I can definitely see it starting to, I'm going to put this over here. Or should I, yeah.
Put it over there. Keep a sharp eye on it for, now, it'll only expand.
Oh wow, Chris, this is pretty nice.
It changes color to, this will only start expanding, and it'll only expand for a few seconds.
I need a paper towel.
And so there will be a point. It's not just going to expand for 30 minutes, like bread or something.
What? We're making bread?
No, we're not.
It's
an example.
We're making breadhead.
All right, so we're going to move on with this and keep an eye on that. So
I can only imagine. We're just going to be going on the show, and next thing you know, it's going to be like, boo!
Our producer will come running in as this giant foam thing is behind us while we're looking over here.
We'll move these out of the way and hope for the best.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it started. Oh. It's started. Okay. Let's just do what we're doing over here. Okay, so let's get back to this.
Do not anger the mold. So,
it's actually starting to focus.
This is
really quick.
Now the amount of water we put in here.
Yeah.
I should have used the. All right.
It's okay. All right. So we got
the amount of water that we put in here.
Yeah.
It can vary. We don't have to be exact with it.
Okay.
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 This particular stuff is white. it will turn a little bit of a pink, but as it gets darker pink, it's starting to set.
Okay.
So what we do to prepare for this is let's put our thing in here.
Like that? Okay.
Yep. We just laid it down inside because we're good like that. It's all good.
So this could be like, slow it
Now,
down.
we're going to pour water
Okay.
into here, mix it up as you pour,
Okay.
and then, you know,
I got a new little
Fairly-
stick to pour.
fairly quick, we'll then pour it over that. If we wait too long, it starts to get lumpy and we don't get a very good mold.
Okay. I mean, you
That's
don't,
it.
You
That's
don't
all
want,
there
you,
is to
you
it.
don't want to pour some in and then put that in and then pour it
No,
over?
we want the mix to go in.
Got it. Okay, okay. I'm
Right?
gonna make sure. All right, so you wanna, yeah. It's,
Double checking. All right, but this sets in 3 minutes. All right.
Chris,
So we're
why
gonna
are you
move,
doing this to me?
we're gonna move kind of quick.
All right, and
So- Careful, careful, careful. All right.
that's like a weird color to it. It's pink.
So you don't have to go crazy with it. All right.
These stir sticks suck. Where's the glue stick?
So as we start going, start pushing it in there, and you can go ahead and with the knife push it down around the deal since it's starting to cure.
I need more water. All right, there we go.
That's okay.
All
It's
right.
alginate.
That's all right if it's a little dry.
Well, that part's not right next to our piece, and this is an experiment, so we'll live.
Experimentation. All right. That is really weird looking.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all I did.
that's all that is, and then we just let that. See, this is also good for stuff like face casting and hands and things like that.
Okay.
We don't even have to.
Oh my gosh.
The foam is a little bigger.
Just a little bit bigger. I'm just gonna leave that there. All right.
All right, so
Chris, it's rising like bread.
I know it is. Here, let's carefully. So just a moment ago, we tossed it in. Now it's this big.
Can I touch it?
No. It's got that skin on it, and at the moment, it's not rigid yet. So if you touched it, you get the chemicals and stuff all over your hand. Don't do that. You're
I
also
want to put
you
a
also-
happy face.
It's self-skinning foam, so you want it to have that
Smoothness.
that
Okay.
skin to it, right?
Oh
Okay,
my
So
God.
now
Is it gonna get bigger?
we don't. Here, let's keep this one over by us.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
in just a minute, we'll go ahead and pull it out.
All right, we'll keep that right there.
So now
Oh,
there's
wow,
one
looks
more.
Really neat.
There's one more experiment that I want to run, similar to this one,
Okay.
and that is I found this stuff at the craft store. It's called Instamold, right?
Instamold.
And it's a very similar thing to the alginate,
Okay.
but a little bit more of a sandstony sort of feel. It mixed up the same way with some water and then thing put in it. Oh, our thing is in there. Look, let's see if we have something else to mold.
Do we have something else to mold?
Oh, sure.
Oh, there. Oh, okay.
Chunk of electronics.
Chunk of electronics. Electronics. Behold,
Still going.
this
All right.
was something of electronics.
So what we'll do is we'll use that in a slightly bigger pan.
Would this be? I mean, would this be okay? I mean,
Oh,
do we want to do this?
I don't care.
Should we do a bottle?
You know what?
Can we do my hand?
We'll
I'll
do
do my
your-
hand.
All right.
We're gonna
We'll
do
go.
my hand. We're gonna do this.
So this one, we're just gonna go ahead and mix up in here. It's gonna be. This one takes a little longer. It's not the 3-minute deal that is.
How long is that one?
It's about the 10-minute deal.
I'm alright with that. We're gonna
All
do
right.
this. We're gonna use my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to decide, Instamold, my hand. Crap.
All right.
And, whoa, that got really big over there.
I'm telling you.
Wait, that's the Instafoam stuff that you find in like at groceries or Home Depot stores or something like that, right?
It's very
that kinda-
similar stuff.
okay.
Right.
All right.
So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna get an impression of your hand
Okay.
because we want to try the hot glue trick and see if it's gonna work.
I hate
So
you
I'm gonna
so
put
much
some,
with the hot
since
glue.
you're using your hand, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some water in
Okay.
and just mix it with your hand, get it good mix, and then just leave your hands there. You ready to mix?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this. Oh, this is. Oh yeah. Okay. And this is completely safe, right? No.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like sand.
Yeah.
I think I need some more water. This literally just feels just like sand.
Yeah, I tried playing some with this stuff, thinking I could do some better, longer-term molds, and it's really just a temporary mold deal. Get some of that moisture over in there.
Yes.
All right.
Moisture. There's a lot of my friends that hate the word moist.
And this is very moist.
Okay, so kind of flatten it out a little bit and just get your hand print in it or a couple of fingers or something, whatever you're going to do. And then stay put while it cures. We will know that it's cured because it'll just be kind of stiff and we'll be able to kind of wiggle your hand to pull your hand out.
Okay.
So while you're doing that,
Yes.
I'm going to scoot you down over this way.
Switch
Carefully. Okay, that foam's not overflowing. I like that.
It was just about to. All right, so I'm just gonna do that.
We mixed just the right amount of foam. By accident. That was great.
This feels very
So-
weird.
While you're... Oh, check it out. Hey, check this out. Say something into the pan.
Hello, Kombat Creations. Whoa.
And it echoes!
Wait. I am Kombat Creations. Hear me, Kombat.
That's kind of neat.
That's actually really cool.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Sorry, folks, got sidetracked. This one, if you touch it, so this we just had all squishy, right? Now it's complete. I know. It's just a few minutes ago. It was all mush. Now it's solid.
Are you a science teacher?
I am not. So, but we can also just pull away from the edges. It's kind of rubbery.
Chris, it's stuck.
Hey, it's setting.
My hand is stuck. Chris,
So here's the alternate. Yeah.
it's stuck.
Here's the alternate. Now, some of it got under our piece, right?
You like some
So
pizza?
underneath, I am working here. So underneath where our piece was, we got a little bit sticking out. Some of the alginate got under. So,
Okay.
and we got a little bit of an air bubble. So if we were wanting a production of this, we would probably want to redo it or figure out a different way. Maybe put the piece at the bottom of a cup going upright or something like that.
Okay, so
But this, for our experiment, we can cut away some of the alginate. Now, with the alginate, here in the studio, when we're cleaning up, we're throwing stuff into a paper or a plastic bag.
okay.
At home, when you are cleaning up some of this stuff, don't say, hey, there's a little bit of the extra powder. I was right next to the kitchen sink. I'm just going to throw that in there. Because remember, it reacts with water down your sink pipes. Don't do that. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm liking that. All right.
Chris, how long do I have to keep my hand here?
Well,
It's stuck, Chris.
if it's nice and solid already, I guess it didn't need 10 minutes, did it?
I guess it's nice. Now it's still a little bit slimy.
You're still a little bit slimy. All right. So, I'm going to pull this open just a little bit. Now, as I pull our piece out, come on, piece, come out.
Well, you got a very difficult piece. Do you think it actually
I did.
set?
Yeah, so you can see in there.
Oh, wow, hey. That's
So I don't know if we can even get close enough for that. But what we're looking for is in there we've got all of the mold cavity, and it really picks up all of the detail real well. And this is nice and solid. You could get a couple of castings of plaster or silicone or something else off of this before this stuff starts degrading.
thieves make keys?
I suppose you could do that. So now I have the hot glue gun, and we're gonna try this. And then afterwards, we'll see if we can unstick you, if or not, and then we'll try that.
Okay.
So for those who may not have seen this trick before, we have used silicone molds and hot glue.
Do you think the hot glue is going to be sticking to the mold itself?
See, I don't know if it will stick to the mold. I do know that even if it does, the alginate crumbles after a little bit of time.
I can glue you when you need it, sir.
The alginate crumbles after a little bit of time, so we could just pull the thing out, even if it's stuck. What I don't know is if it's so hot that it will.
either A, melt through, or B, yeah. Either way, it's an experiment, guys. Welcome to Kombat Kreations.
Okay, I think we're good on that one. I just filled with some hot glue. Gloomy. I don't think you need to really glue me just yet. All right.
I just like it how you say glue.
So we'll switch.
Switch.
All right. So with your hand, carefully wiggle your fingers just a little bit to pull them out, and as the stuff releases, carefully pull your hand out. And there, we've got Jeff hand.
Jeff hand.
It's like he made it for
Because
his
if you're a
mom.
fanboy, you can be a flake. Jeff hand.
That
Jeff hand. Fanboy
that
flake.
could be a fragrance. Okay, so low on the time frame here.
All right.
All right, so go ahead, use the hot glue. Well, you want to wash off your hand a little bit.
I'm alright. Let's do it.
Use the hot glue. Go for it. See if you can make a finger.
I swear, if I burn my... What? This is so... Chris, this is going to take forever. I'm going to do a finger. I'm going to do my ring finger. Oh, God, ow! Frickin' me! I hate you so much, Chris! I hate you! I hate this so much.
All right, I'm looking at our stuff over here.
Yeah, you're looking at your stuff. I'm burning my face. Chris? It's just...
So what we're finding out there is that the hot glue isn't going to stay where we want it in the mold. We made a snot booger. We do want to use like a knife or something and try and peel it off of the gun so we don't screw up the gun.
I'm so... that's a... But, you know the nice thing about using this, like this? We made a weird... We're making jelly!
Yeah, so, alright, our hot glue experiment on the Instamold failed.
It did... Like,
if we wanted to use...
It did not stick at all.
If you wanted to do something at home where you're trying to use Instamold, it's at craft stores and it's really cheap. You could do something where you did this sort of thing and then added plaster of Paris to it and pulled the plaster of Paris out because the Instamold stuff deteriorates like the alginate
The camera
does.
guy hates me right now. Jeff hand. Jeff hand.
Deteriorates like alginate. You can pour something else in there, pop out with a hand.
This is so neat, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Now, the question is, like, if I just left this alone, would this ever, like, break off or anything?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying 3 times in a row, that it will deteriorate over the course of, a half an hour.
It's a Jeff hand.
Can't take you anywhere. All right.
It's a Jeff hand made
Let's
out
check
of
this
sand.
one. Our hot glue should be cool enough now.
Yeah.
And it was a blob.
Just like my snot over... Oh! Ah! I just hit it on the thing here!
Oh, check it out.
Oh! Crap. I'm done!
Check it out, though. All right. So here's the hot glue from the mold there, and here's the actual piece.
Oh my god. Okay.
So,
hey, we got a little bit.
So even though the hot glue part didn't quite work out, it did really capture the detail. Which means that you could do this and let some of the hot glue cure and just keep adding hot glue until your mold completed. So that is a way to do some of the mold. So that one actually worked.
All right.
Don't move that.
Oh, that one's still setting.
Yeah, so the plaster one didn't quite set in enough time. It probably needs another 20 minutes or so,
This is
which is
pretty
going to
warm.
go past our edge of the show. But we'll go ahead and finish it. It is a little warm. It's an endothermic reaction. Science.
Weird science.
All right. So what we're
Hashtag
going
weird
to do
science.
here is
So
we're
you
going
can
to carefully.
You can touch this now. Oh wow, you can.
Yeah,
While you do that, I'm gonna clean my hand up a little bit because
You do
oh
that.
my god.
I don't really have scissors, but all I'm going to do is tear away our mold. Now, I actually have some stuff here called mold release. And had I remembered that, putting the foam in, we could add some of the mold release, and it makes things a whole lot easier to pull off later.
Is that my head?
This is your head.
My head.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty neat. You definitely don't want to get the stuff on your hands. If you get it on your hands, a really easy way to get it off is immediately hot water and nail polish remover. And scrub, and you get the what's the metal scrub stuff called that you use for dishes and pans, pots and pans? What?
Wool.
I use
Wool,
a grinder.
steel wool,
Steel
steel wool.
wool, yeah.
Duh.
I
Thank
should
you.
Stop using a grinder.
You could do that,
I mean,
but I use steel wool to get that stuff off.
pots only last so long, right? A couple of uses.
I can't even with you, sir.
We're actually coming. Wow, Chris, it has been 50 minutes. This is
I know it is. All right. So I've got a lot of the foil peeled away, and obviously we could still go to it, but
Wow, that is.
there's a little bit of tack around the sides and stuff there.
Ooh.
But you got now. Also, this is the rigid foam. So it's really nice and dense. It's very light. But
it's light, but you do not want to get in the head with this.
yeah, it's real dense. So if you were making things that needed, yeah, you may want to be careful because I was saying it's a little tacky, which means we probably have a little bit more reaction at the very top. But that's okay. It'll finish doing what it's doing. And we've got a Jeff head completely.
Not but one, not but two.
Just two.
Just two Jeff heads.
Just two. All right, so let's recap a little bit about what we got going on. So some of these things, as I mentioned, pretty cheap. The rigid stuff is a little bit more expensive than some of the other things that we have going on here, but our alginate with the hot glue actually worked. And if you wanted to use alginate to do something else with, like plaster or some of the rigid foam or silicone or something like that, same thing. Do the exact same process that we had
I'm
here.
wondering if at some point maybe we could try this again and maybe like a bigger piece. So when we take it out, we can try maybe use liquid latex.
We could do that too, and we could definitely do that. So we've used some of the plaster of Paris, we used some of the Instamold, some of the
So cool.
the alginate for a variety of things. The plaster actually is setting up. It's actually setting up beautifully. It's just partly the temperature in here, partly the amounts that we mixed in, that it's still just got some moisture to it, and it's not quite as solid as we want it. So we're just going to leave it
But we're gonna
to finish setting.
You can see that there's still a little bit of liquid over that.
But that's just at the top. And I've reached in and kind of played with the sides a little bit. And the plaster reaction, just like the foam, is an endothermic reaction, which means if you're doing it at home and you're trying to see if it's completely done yet, feel around the sides. If they're warm, then it's not quite done yet.
I'm hot-headed. I pulled one of your puns.
But if it's warm, if there's still some reaction going on, and you can know that you can let it have a little bit more time. If it's all the way cool to the touch, all the way around, then you know that it's completely finished doing what it's doing, and it's time to pull it out and do whatever. And for the plaster, if it was completely finished and you still had a film of water at the top, you could always just pour that off and pat it down dry before demolding it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I just mentioned a few minutes ago about mold release that we didn't do because I forgot and we got into things. Mold release is a liquid stuff that we actually have some in a spray bottle. That what this is for is when we're pulling molds and stuff out from like the foil or whatever the case may be, is to help it not stick.
Huh.
So you would spray a little bit of this, not letting it pool up, just lightly spray over the surface of either your item or your mold or whatever it is before doing a molding process, and then it makes it a whole lot easier to
In which
unmold.
case, folks, we did not do.
Yeah, it happens. Some other forms of mold release that you wouldn't have to purchase, you could do a little bit of talcum powder.
Okay.
Works real well. Sometimes a light dish soap water mixture can kind of work real well. I don't like that one as much. Vaseline works real well, but leaves a little bit of a coating on it.
Hey.
Either way, we had an hour.
We had an hour, guys. We hope you all enjoyed our hour special of Kombat Kreations. Don't forget, we got an event coming up on the 29th at the Barnes & Noble in Round Rock, where we're going to be filming live from between the hours of 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Check our website and our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter for more information.
We're on all the things.
And if you liked what we did tonight and you want to see more of this, message us.
Yeah, we're listening to you, and we're responding and ready for more, folks. Of course, just like everybody else at the Fanboy TV Block Party, which continues after this with Zombie Life TV. For now, I'm Chris.
I'm Jeffrey.
This is Kombat Kreations.
Continue crafting.